With cybersecurity professionals and black hat hackers working tirelessly every day to improve cracking tools, the task of protecting ourselves as average individuals online may seem daunting to the point of being unrealistic. Every time you engage with an online platform, especially one which seeks to store your personal information, you put that personal information at risk. Think of the major platforms you use every day: Google, Facebook, TikTok, Amazon. For how many of these do you have your login info saved? But Ray, these companies are huge and powerful. No doubt they can stop hackers, or at least get me a refund if I do get hacked. Sadly, this isn't always the reality. Let's talk about cyber defense for the average human and use Amazon as a case study. Amazon isn't just a shopping service. Amazon Web Services is a massive platform for computer scientists and technologists, one which often houses sensitive data or work that represents a significant investment. Their tools provide incredible convenience and possibility for all kinds of people all over the world, which also means they have a totally unmanageable user base. In October of 2019, an article was published by the UK financial review site This Is Money, stating that in some cases, when customers were hacked, Amazon was refusing to refund them and was even making them pay for the merchandise stolen by the so-called fraudsters. A term I have never heard before and seriously dislike, except for the fact that this is a UK publication, which means there's like UK people saying fraudsters, and that I like very much. Anyway, the article referenced another issue which had been going on for over a year prior to the publication, in which victims were being hacked, robbed, and bounced back and forth between their own banks and Amazon itself when they demanded the transactions be cancelled and refunded, ultimately resulting in them having to shoulder the debts themselves. According to the article, the issue is this: if your bank account is fraudulently charged, it is your bank account that is responsible for issuing you a refund. However, if Amazon investigates and decides that you did in fact receive some merchandise, they will attempt to block the refund from reaching you and instead demand you cover the cost. And unfortunately, that makes sense. Amazon is responsible for protecting their sellers and their own financial interests, as well as their buyers, which means they'll try to shift the refund responsibility to the bank, will try to shift it back to Amazon, or perhaps to a third-party seller. Basically, many of the people interviewed for these articles ended up in this horror hell loop of customer service reps that occasionally ended in the news article itself putting enough pressure on Amazon that they caved and issued refunds, but in some cases ended in the customers themselves having to foot the bill for the people who had stolen from them. One victim was quoted as saying, "I feel defeated. The money taken was more than a month's wages, which is a lot when you have 2 children and a mortgage. I used to find Amazon really useful, but this has tainted it. I want to know my account is being kept safe, and then Amazon will help if someone steals from me." Like, yes, Amelia, you're right. That is awful. I wish that we could expect better security or assistance from mega corporations like Amazon, especially ones with so many resources. But if it is the case that we cannot, which it seems like it is, let's talk a bit about steps that we can take to protect our own selves. According to a November article, again by This Is Money, the most common Amazon attacks took place this way. Amazon hacks are often fashioned as phone-based phishing attacks, in which customers' accounts are compromised by hackers misidentifying themselves over the phone as Amazon employees. The hackers either attempt to get the customer to dictate their login information over the phone, or they set up a dummy site for them to log into. Many of the fraudulent purchases made were often preceded by small purchases with small dollar amounts that are less likely to be noticed, so the hackers can get a sense of how attentive a customer is to their Amazon order history. The purchases would then obviously ramp up the longer it was able to go on. The transactions themselves were also moved to the archive section of the order history, again to prevent users from taking notice. Additionally, in some cases, it appears that Amazon's fraud department was discovering the charges being made and canceling the orders, refunding the money. Good, but then not informing the customers. Very bad. This means if your account was hacked, Amazon might have found out and not told you. This is an issue because if they happen to catch every transaction, great. But if not, you would still be compromised and, given what we've learned so far, possibly made to pay. Furthermore, regardless of what gets caught or not, that means you're still at the mercy of the hackers because no one incentivized you to secure your account, removed your saved credit card information, or change your password. So, if Amazon can't be there for you, you gotta be there for yourself. And here's some tips on how to do that. 1. Don't store payment information in apps like Amazon. I know it's tempting, but don't do it. Compare the inconvenience of entering your payment information once in a while to canceling all of your credit cards, and then decide what you want to do. Enable 2-factor authentication on your Amazon account. This is actually way easier than people seem to think, and you can do it from your phone. Go to your account, log in security, 2-step verification settings. I wouldn't use a phone number for this in case that ever gets compromised, then you have to change it. I'd use an authenticator app. Check out my 2-factor authentication video for more information on those and some suggestions of some good ones to get. Make sure you do not enable suppress OTP on any browser or device for the same reason you don't save payment information. Face ID is also a great option if you have an iPhone. 3. Don't save payment, address, or login information on any browser, like Firefox or Google Chrome. Think of it this way. You're trying to minimize single points of failure. You don't want any one thing having all the keys to your kingdom. If someone logged into your Google Chrome account and started using Chrome, what all would they have access to? Sure, maybe you've forgotten some of your passwords, but if that's the case, it was time to change them anyway. Reset passwords frequently and use different passwords for everything. Again, no single points of failure. You don't want someone getting your one password from some insecure third-party site that you forgot you had a subscription to, and then being able to own your entire life. Also, for Amazon specifically, make sure you review your archived orders and you're constantly going over your order history and reviewing your purchases to make sure that there's nothing going on that you don't recognize, especially small things like the first several transactions of the hack. Also, frankly, I'd like to end this video with a call to corporations like Amazon to increase their security protocols and response to hacks. If what these articles are saying is true, customers seem to get left out to dry in a lot of cases. With such a useful and ubiquitous service and one with such overpowering resources, there's no excuse for customers ever feeling the way Amelia does. I shouldn't even have to say it because this entire episode should have been a reminder of how tremendously valuable this team is, but this video was made in partnership with Grizzly Information Security Solutions, the grizzly bear equivalent of my wolf pack. And if you came from TikTok or the Discord server, this special hello is for you. Stay tuned for some very special and fun episodes coming up. You'll see some other familiar faces from TikTok and also get to meet more of the Grizzly team. So make sure you're subscribed for all of that. I love y'all. Stay safe. Till next time.
I leave my window open, pretend you'll come inside. Can't fix what isn't broken, can't miss what isn't mine. I drive around the city.